Game one of the Western Conference Finals is tomorrow night. It's OKC in San Antonio. Right now, it's Quentin Richardson and Tim Bontemps back with us on SportsCenter. Tim, it's Victor Wembanyama who said that it's, quote, special to be in this position, 4 wins away from a trip to the NBA Finals. How much pressure is on Wemby in this series?
I mean, there's always pressure when you're in a situation where if you win a series, you're the favorite to win an NBA title. So that's certainly the case for Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. That being said, if there's ever been a team that isn't in a pressure situation in this spot, it is this San Antonio Spurs team because of the remarkable youth that this team has. Victor Wembanyama still only in his 3rd NBA season. Stephon Castle in his 2nd season. Dylan Harper in his 1st season, a rookie, playing great in the playoffs. And talking to people ahead of this highly anticipated series from across the league, the thing that has come up over and over again is the rapid ascension of those 3 guys in particular, and especially those 2 guards. Everybody talks about Victor Wembanyama, and obviously he's one of the most unique players the sport has ever seen. But the rapid development of both Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper into impact players on the perimeter, that is the thing that could turn this Spurs into a potential dynasty going forward. And if they can win this series and they win the title this year with this group in this age range, good luck to anybody trying to beat them anytime soon.
And we talk about that as the Thunder are a young team in their own right as well. QR, Wemby averaged 18 points per game against the Thunder this season. What should the Thunder's game plan be to try and contain Wembanyama if they can in this series?
Man, guys, they got to throw the kitchen sink at him, obviously. I mean, you got to try and put him defensively in every action possible, put him in pick and rolls, make him switch. I mean, not that he can't do these things, but just try and use up as much energy as he can and of his that you can and wear him down. Attack him. They got 2 bigs to throw at him, so they got bodies for fouls, and they got to be physical with him, and they got to try and wear him down because he's been unstoppable all season, and if they let him get comfortable, it won't be good for anybody.
Tim, let's talk about the Thunder. They went 1-4 against San Antonio during the regular season. San Antonio, the only team to win a season series against the champs. How would you characterize the season-long battle between these 2 teams?
Well, I was at the game in the NBA Cup, the 5th of those games that doesn't count in terms of the standings in Las Vegas. And it was impressive to see how big across the board the Spurs were. That gave the Thunder a lot of problems. As you said, San Antonio went 4-1 against Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City only lost 18 regular season games all season, so that was almost 20% of them. And the key thing in those matchups, in the 4 losses the Thunder had, they shot 32% from 3. They are a up-and-down team from the perimeter shooting-wise. So are the Spurs. That is going to be the thing to watch, I think, in this series. Who can control the 3-point line? Whoever does has a very good chance of winning.
Q, the offense goes through SGA. How are the Spurs going to contain him in this series?
The good thing about the Spurs is like Tim said, that athleticism and height and length at the wings they have several different bodies they can throw at SGA to try and frustrate him and make things tough. But I expect them to take a page out of the Lakers book and JJ Redick at some point. If he gets to going, you've seen them be able to kind of make him slow down a little bit, throwing the double teams and hitting him with 2 defenders. So I think we could see a little bit of that action to try and keep the SGA from getting into that supernova MVP type mode, because when they deployed the double team, it did slow him down, and his aggression went down because of the double team in the Lakers series.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals starts tomorrow. We cannot wait. Tim, QR, much appreciated.
Does it feel like title or bust for San Antonio?
Yes, title or bust. What a great place to be. What an opportunity, Kenny, S.A., that you have the talent to sit up there in front of all the depth that you have, in front of maybe the greatest player that the game of basketball potentially has ever seen. I'm not saying that's going to translate to accolades and things that compete with Michael and LeBron and how we categorize that, but the game has never seen somebody 7'5" that moves the way Wemby does. And the reason why it's title or bust for me, guys, is Dan Campbell said something a couple of years ago when they faced the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. After they lost, he said at the post presser, he said, like, I don't know if we're going to be back here again. So as much as people can say, oh, well, they're young, they can be. Look, I got drafted 2nd behind a guy who was 7'5". I didn't know how long Yao Ming was going to play. Guys like that, you can have injuries. You can have a foot injury, a back injury. Things can happen because the game isn't used to having people of that size. I don't know how long Wemby can play this game. So, look, you hope that they have multiple knocks at the door. That's what any basketball fan will want. That's what all of us we want. That's what the NBA would want, frankly, because you want to see Wemby because of his size and his skill set and because how polarizing he is to watch in person and on TV to be in multiple Western Conference Finals and NBA championships. But I don't know how long that can last. So it should be title or bust right now. That's what the Spurs want.
They can want it, but I think that it's a bit unfair to label it title or bust for a team that we didn't have championship expectations for coming into this season. We thought they would be good. We didn't know they would be this good. And because of their youth.
You thought that.
Well, a lot of people did. And you're right. I was one of those people, but a lot of people did. I wasn't alone. A vast majority of folks were not talking about the San Antonio Spurs on that level. They considered them a year away or two because of their youth, not because of their talent. And so to see Mitch Johnson coaching his butt off, being one of the great young coaches in the game, to see Castle and Vassell and Harper, Ron Harper's got to be very, very proud watching his son play because Dylan Harper can ball, make no mistake about it. All right, to watch that and his growth and his maturation take fold, to see De'Aaron Fox still doing what he's capable of doing, etc. You're looking at the San Antonio Spurs, and certainly there's championship expectations now because we recognize the greatness of Wembanyama is unparalleled. We haven't seen anything like this before. All true, but that's not what we anticipated coming into this season. So I think they're ahead of schedule. They're championship contenders. We all know it. The likelihood is that they will be in the conference finals because we expect them to win one of these potentially next two games against the Minnesota Timberwolves and getting to the conference finals. And if you were to lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, the reigning defending NBA champions, there's certainly no shame in that because we see what's coming forth down the road. I understand what your point is. They're there now. I get it. I'm just saying if they get to the conference finals and lose to OKC, I am not going to call this season a bust for the San Antonio Spurs. They've had a very, very successful season if they get to the conference finals.
Well, for me, I have to take a piece of both of y'all and say, man, valid points. But for me, always, life is about trajectory. Are you on the right train at the right time and you don't get derailed or you don't get off too early?
Preach.
And right now, the San Antonio Spurs are on the right train, the right track, with the right speed and the right trajectory. And we talk about what Wembanyama's doing, but we're saying that these guys have made themselves, Fox, Castle, and Harper, the best trio backcourt in the NBA. Is that the trajectory we saw them at the beginning of the season? No. We said it could be, but they are moving at a pace faster than we expected. Then you add Vassell in it, and you add all the other elements. You add even Harrison Barnes comes into the game and gives you quick buckets and here and there. They are on the right train, the right speed, and on the right track. So bust, maybe not, because all they have to do is stay on the train. And they have put themselves, and you talk about coaching, at no point, and we might have said Wemby could be there, we might have said the Spurs could be there, but we never said their coaching staff could get them there. This is the first time that we put in a trajectory saying, we believe in their coaching staff and what they're doing. So for me, this is stay on the mission. Don't get off the train. Steve, when you taking that train in New York, don't get off too early. Don't get off a stop too early.
No. We ain't trying to get off in Newark, New Jersey. We ain't trying to do that.
Newark's coming up. Kenny, I'll just say one last thing. My perception of bust is warped because I'm sure it is for you too. The amount of times that you've had successful seasons and you knocked on the door and you haven't gotten all the way over the hump, you may have reflectively looked at it and say, you know what, that was a decent season. But in your mind, as a competitor,
oh yeah, you can get over the hump. No,
exactly.
Yeah, as a competitor, sure.
And I'll say with you, you're right, because they're going to look back and go, whoever wins it, if it's not them, they're going to go.
We had a chance.
That's it.
We're better than them.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Beyond this year, I think you could say title or bust with the personnel that they have, the coaching that they have, and the experience they will have acquired with this run. But the one other important thing to mention is this. If you're anybody in the NBA, especially the Western Conference, this is your moment because San Antonio has sent the message. you ain't going to have too many of them in the future if we have something to say about it. You better get it now because you ain't going to get it later.
That's right.
That's what San Antonio is saying.
We all have looked at their inexperience. Well, after this season, they're going to have that experience. So they can close it out tonight in Minnesota against the Timberwolves in a critical Game 6. All right, guys, thank you so much. Kenny, you're going to stick around.